Hey, this is Ryan Meyer coming at you live again with another tech video. Today, we have a Toshiba Satellite Pro 430 CDS. This computer is kinda cool. I got it about a year ago on eBay for $12. Somehow, nobody else bid on it, given it was 4 in the morning. Funny. So, this computer is my main retro gaming computer. I have lots of games on it, from CD-ROMs and from floppies that I've collected over a compilement of, my entire life. Let's get started with a full power on. Has a little latch in the front to unlock it, so let's just do that right now. And there we go, an 11-inch, I believe it's passive matrix LED yeah, it's very old. Oh, LCDs, sorry, LEDs are newer. But anyway, it's a Pentium 1 computer. That is old. From 1996. It was originally designed to run Windows 95, however, when I first booted it, everything worked fine, and after the course of 2 weeks, the entire computer died with the operating system, at least from that. So I decided, I don't want to go ahead and install another copy of 95. The same thing might happen, so I installed the next best thing, Windows 3.11 from 2000, what am I thinking? From 1993. There we go. So let's just power it on. Little buttons on the side. And yes, the battery holds a charge, and it is the original lithium-ion battery. People in the time had the option between choosing lithium-ion and nickel-cadmium, and whoever had bought this thankfully bought lithium-ion, and it still works, and I can get about 3.5 hours out of it. They never used it, I guess. It is phenomenal. Given a 3,400 milliamp battery, it's pretty amazing. I have a bigger one in my phone than this computer. Now, it takes a second to load because it starts by booting with DOS, and now you just have to type WIN or WIN to start Windows 3.1. Hit enter, and there you have it. When I first configured it, it didn't boot to full screen. It booted to a really weird low resolution, but I finally was able to do this about 2 days ago. It took about a year for me to figure this out, but I ended up going into setup through Windows, and then I'm like, oh yeah, every time I tried to make it full screen, I was going by, this 600 by 800 resolution, but I was doing 256 colors, but Windows 3.1, at least the model that I have, can only withheld 16 colors at a time. So let me just plug up a mouse. I'll be right back. I apologize for that pause. I had to reboot the entire system to get my mouse hooked up, because plug and play wasn't really an option. Or at least not with just plugging it in and you have to reboot the whole system with it plugged in to recognize it as a mouse. So here we go. Windows 3.1. Looks familiar to me, but it might not look too familiar to you. Now, in this case, the mouse, it has these weird end tails that go along with it. I don't know if you can see it. It's the LCD, just because it's an old LCD. But here, let's go to System Specifications. Just give me a second. Now, I can't get to full System Specifications, so here, let's just do the next best thing. Windows Setup, it has a Super VGA 800 by 600 with 16 colors, Enhanced 101 or 102 US keys, and blah blah blah, Microsoft Mouse version 9, and no network card installed. So I cannot basically interact with other computers at the moment. So, okay. Now, I only really have this computer for mainly for gaming, but here, let's just check out some things that are on it. I gotta go to Main, first File Manager to get to your hard drive, C drive, and then all these. These are all games. So let's just try my favorite old game, made in 1992 by a little company called, I can't remember what it's called right now, sorry, but Wolfenstein 3D. ID software, that's what it's called. Now, I did install Sound Blaster, and it has its own little built-in speaker in the front, which surprisingly is louder than you think it would be. So I'm just going to turn that up all the way, and here we go. Now, This computer really runs these old games well because it's virtually meant for, you know, Windows 95, not an older software, so it can run all these older games from before its time with ease. Now, the reason I didn't have any save files is I just recently reset the hard drive trying to install that, you know, full screen issue, but I got everything back except for some of my save files. So, I'm just going to turn that volume down a little. And here, let me just show you the fluidity in Wolfenstein 3D. It virtually nothing, no lag whatsoever. This is as full of a screen as I can get, but it will not lag no matter how hard you try. There are some entrails when you move, but I can deal with that. And if you hook it up to a TV, it goes to full screen, which is all that really matters to me. I'm just going to X out of this now. And there you have it. And just to show you how dated this thing is, I'm going to show you what the control panel looks like. Now, I'm all sure you've seen my past videos or seen any control panel on a Windows computer, but here's what the control panel looks like on this. Pretty crazy, right? And if you want to modify anything on the desktop, this is what you have to deal with. And that's all the optioning you get, which is barely anything. It doesn't even open JPEG images, you have to convert them to bitmap. And system sounds, they loaded with my sound driver, but you can't test any of them. It just gives me this error, and I can't cope with it, because I just don't want to have to deal with it. So many, these are all my drivers that I have on it. And it works with basically any new age USB keyboard with an adapter, but you have to turn it off like showed before, keyboard or mouse. As long as it's not wireless, that just doesn't work. So I'm just going to end my session, and it's going to boot back to DOS, and I'm just going to go ahead and turn it off as soon as it opens the C drive. Okay, there we go. On to the computer physical conditioning. In the front, right here, we have a mono speaker volume dial, which Toshiba was really inclined to making, especially in the 90s, and your headphone audio out port. On the right side here, we have the battery lock-unlock switch for the drawer on the bottom to take the battery out, which is right here. You have your floppy drive, which is removable by switching this little flip right there and then pulling up on this. It opens up the floppy drive so you can put in a CD-ROM drive, which I do have. On the back here, we have an infrared blaster, our Super VGA port, our parallel printer port, our expansion slot in the back for putting one of those nice big expansion buses on the back so we can add more RAM and other functionalities. We have our regular average charger, which this is beautiful because every new age Toshiba computer has this exact same port hooked up to their battery brick, and also the battery brick is internal on this, so all you need is that cord to charge this, which means any new age charger can be taken apart and used to charge this. Awesome. Right here we have our little fan internally, works pretty nice, doesn't really overheat very much, and your keyboard and mouse port. Sadly there's only one, so you'd have to get an adapter to hook up both at the same time. And on the left side of the computer you have this Kensington lock mechanism. First generation, I believe. And right here, there's a little bitty wall right here, but I don't want to open this little port on the side because I kind of had to super glue it into the side, but I never use what's in it, that's why. And inside, all it is basically a floppy drive, expansion little bus thing, and this other thing that I don't really use. It's a serial port. And right here you have your PCI bus slots and their locking mechanisms that can be opened up and then bent to the side instead of being open up like above the device, so they can't really get knocked off, which is pretty amazing. And right here we have another audio out and a microphone in. And then you have your standard power button. And there you have it, a Toshiba Satellite Pro 430 CDS. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, like it. If you didn't like it, dislike it. Have an excellent day, and God bless.